Thank you for joining me. This is Katie Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. It's Thursday. We're together and we're going to get a little heated. We're talking about winners versus losers. The small differences between winners and losers. This is going to have this can change everything. It's going to have a big impact. The difference isn't about talent. You see this with your teams, with yourself. It's not about talent. It's about behavior, mindset, and consistency. Think about professional sporting teams. First off, if you're part of a professional sports team, you're already incredibly skilled. So the worst team in the league is still incredibly skilled. The best businesses that you've followed, liked, often started with the fewest resources. Winning and losing are habits built daily. They're not decided once. They're built daily. We're going to get into what are the patterns, because winning is a pattern, but being a loser is a pattern too. And let me just preface, I have been through seasons of life where I was a frickin' loser. Like embarrassing to the point where I knew I needed that season so I could literally empathize, relate, sympathize, understand a lot of different types of people because I have lived like a complete scumbag. And you would meet me and never guess that I had a past the way I did in my late teens, early 20s. But it's there. So I've been it, I've seen it. Um, and I've gotten to the other side. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to have a winning mindset behavior all the time. But this is why we need these conversations to check ourselves and to get on the right path. Winners stack their disciplines. It's just little habits. They stay disciplined and consistent over time. Losers stack excuses. Okay, there's always a reason it's not going the way you hope it will, or there's always a reason you didn't get to where you want to be. We're going to break this down. We're going to break it down between thoughts, behaviors, and attitudes. Boy, do we need this. Let's start with thoughts. Okay, winners have an ownership and team-based mindset. They think to themselves, what could I have done better? What can I do better? How can we win together? How can the collective do increasingly better together? When you're part of a team, it's not just, your performance matters, right? Like if I'm put in as a starting point guard on a basketball team, I have got to have my eye on the whole court. I got to be aware of all the people all the time, everything that's going on. So I'm personally responsible. And yet it's also my drive. I'm driven for the success of the team. I'm looking at like how to optimize each other so that we together can win. Winners have long-term vision. They'll sacrifice now for future gain. I think about, what does it take to have the life you want? Does it mean you get up before your kids do and get certain things done? Because if you don't, it's not going to happen the rest of the day. Are there certain kind of sacrificial, hardcore things you got to do right now in order to get your team to a better place? What are you being called to right now? Are you willing to do it? Because winners are. They focus on optimizing their own strengths and the strengths of others. Winners are solution oriented. They focus on what's possible, not what's broken. It doesn't matter what organization you're part of. You could be a part of the state championship team. You could be the leading, group of any, I don't know what, you could be the band that got the Grammy. Am I even saying Grammy right? It's Grammy music. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. It doesn't matter. You focus not on, it doesn't matter what organization you're in. You're always going to have things that need to be fixed. But winners focus on what's possible, not what's broken. Winners are standards driven. They have high standards. They want what's best. They always want to get better themselves. And they say to themselves, this is like who we are, regardless of our circumstances. We're going to be awesome no matter what's going on around us. Let's do it. They want everybody on their team to do well, including the owner. Let me just say that part again, because owners are listening and be like, thank you for saying this. Winners want everybody on the team to do well, including the owner. Losers tend to, we're going to get into the thought process behind having a losing mindset, being a freaking loser. You are going to shift blame all the time. It's just it's just who you are. That is not great. If you have an identity where all you do is shift blame, meaning this is never your fault. You're never accountable. There's always some other reason why this is happening to your life. Whether it's the team around you, the economy, the clients that you have in your chair, the competition at other places, or even your faux competition of other stylists who graduated at the same school in the same time you did. You have short-term emotional thinking. You're making decisions based on how you feel right now in the moment, how you feel today. You're problem focused. Losers are problem focused. They rehearse issues over and over and over again. And they don't really have a desire to solve it. They don't even think that is a thing. Like, oh, this is an issue. I'm going to rehearse the issue. No, they don't even think like, how could I solve the issue? Losers have conditional standards. I'll be good when this gets better. It'll be great here once that happens. It's always based on conditions, and it is a really unfair space to put yourself and others around you. So what is the big contrast here in mindset? Winners ask, how do we win anyway? So no matter what's going on, how do we win together anyway? And losers ask, why is this happening to me? Behaviors of winners and losers. What are the behaviors? This is how this plays out. What actions are taken? Winners stay consistent. They actually choose consistency over intensity. So think back if you went to college or anytime you had to study for something big, maybe it was your license. Maybe you wanted to get a big certification in this industry. You had to study hard, you had to work hard. Instead of going intense and hardcore and cramming a couple days or nights before, consistent winners just recap. They've been consistently looking at the material. They've been consistently practicing. So when it comes time where it's the final test or the big thing happens, the big event, they are prepared. They show up even when it's hard or when it's boring. Sometimes it's hard as salon owners to think of the next cool thing that people can be a part of to keep them excited. And I can tell you the owners that I think do it the best, I also know have some major financial struggles. They're always doing for others. They're sacrificing their own profit margin. They may be robbing Peter to pay Paul, going into debt. They always want to provide some cool experience, gifts, getaways. They make it special. They're amazing at that, but at what cost? Because when you're surrounded by winners, they're going to show up even if it's boring because they're committed to the collective. They're committed to the cause. Winners do the fundamentals exceptionally well. Their training, their follow-up, their practice, their client experience, their numbers. They do the fundamentals over and over, and they do it well. They track and measure. They know their KPIs. They know their rebooking rates. They know their retention. They know what it takes to get from here to there, and they're willing to just stay the course and work on it. And they lean into discomfort. If you want to get better today than you are yesterday, there's going to be new things you got to do. And sometimes the new things are hard. They are willing to have those hard conversations. They're willing to put themselves, and I've seen this especially in stylists who have been in the industry for like 10 plus years. They're not often willing to take a few steps back, humble themselves, and learn new techniques that are going to help propel them in their ability to serve today's clientele. They're willing to make the hard choices and do the hard things. They hold their head high even when the company or they experience losses. So if you got a call back, you got to deal with a correction, you got team walking out the door, going elsewhere, you still hold your head up high. The team's going to experience losses, but winners hold their head up high. And winners prepare more than they perform. The performance is like, boom, that moment you've been preparing for. They focus on practicing over being all about the spotlight. They're focused on growth. So, what's the difference of behaviors for winners now losers? Losers have inconsistent effort. They probably need the flashy, cool thing in order to the carrot dangling in front of you in order to be like, fine, I'll post on social media because I could win this thing if I do. They have high highs, but they got low lows. Losers skip fundamentals. They want advanced results without basic discipline. Oh, we see this with newer talent because they grew up, and it's not their fault. They grew up in this instant gratification era. So they expect that after a year, they're going to be like, boom, awesome, getting rave reviews, having no challenges to overcome. That's just not the case. Get out of that mindset. Losers avoid data. They guess instead of measure. They follow trends instead of following facts. It's okay to be where you are today. If you avoid looking at the truth, you are deceiving yourself. A few moments of honesty will save you a year of self-deception. It is more painful to deceive yourself. Losers avoid discomfort at all costs. They delay hard decisions. They delay taking that class, that certification, going to that event. It's like, ugh, I don't want to put myself in that uncomfortable. What if I show up and I'm the worst one who doesn't get it? Winners don't think like that. They're like, maybe I will be the worst, but if I'm around a ton of people that are better than me, then that means I'm going to get better. I'm going to take it back and I'm going to keep working on it. You got to shift that perspective. Losers are reactive instead of proactive. So they tend to be always dealing with something dramatic, putting out fires. Here's the big contrast. When you look at the behaviors of a winner versus a loser, winners say, I'm going to do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And losers are like, this should be enough. I put in enough. This should have been enough. Attitude. Oh, finally, let's get to the attitude. The attitude difference between winners and losers. Winners are resilient. Resiliency. They take a loss, the negative thing that happened that they experience, and they look at it like this is feedback. What do I do? What have I learned? They think through it. It's feedback, not their identity. They don't get trapped in, oh, this is what happened. So now I'm terrible, or I'm at a terrible business and maybe I should leave too because this salon isn't that great. Winners don't think like that. A loss is feedback, and they're rooted in confidence for the way they've prepared. So confidence has rooted them because of their preparation. In other words, they look internally. That confidence has to come from within. They judge themselves internally. It's an internal perspective. They are highly, highly thankful people. Their gratitude is as tenacious as the hunger they have for being better, doing more. So they appreciate what already is while they pursue what's next. Gratitude is key. And that's kind of this lofty thing. We hear it everywhere all the time. But is it something Is gratitude something you should have? And yeah, if I think about it, there's things I can be grateful for. Or is gratitude literally ingrained in you as part of what you experience every single day. I struggle with that, like connecting the two. Like I did the practice where I sat down, wrote out what I could be thankful for, but it didn't have a heart shift in me for a long time. I had to keep going with it, really realizing, oh my gosh, it's the simple things, it's the little things. There's so much to be grateful for. Personally, I had struggled with connecting that, going from knowing how to be thankful or knowing what I can be thankful into actually experiencing it and having that like play out in the way I behaved and treated others and my life perspective on things. Winners have an attitude of team first. They talk with the team about their goals, about growth and the future, what events they want to attend, classes that they've been to, what they've learned or what they're currently learning, achievements they're proud of, achievements they're proud to see in others. They elevate others around them. They're focused on building and cultivating a positive environment. They're culture keepers. They aren't threatened by other people's great things, greatness. Like, you ever look at somebody and be like, your win is a win for me? Like, wow, what a blessing. I have a neighbor who just built out an addition on their house, and they have 3 boys who love basketball. And we know the statistics of like who's actually going to make it to D1 schools and then go to pro. Not very many people. But they still invested in adding on an indoor basketball court for their family. And just driving by and seeing that slowly progress over a little season of time. And in Wisconsin, you got to go off the weather. If it's too cold, if it's too, whatever, you kind of have your days you can actually work on construction. So I text the mom and I was like, your extension, like this build out, this basketball court, it is looking awesome. I'm so excited for you. I felt like that win has got to be her win. Man, that is cool. And I wanted her to know. She's like, thanks. It's taken way longer than we thought. And I'm like, girl, it'll be worth it. This is a dream come true for these boys. Do you feel that joy for other people when they have great things either happen for them, they've worked for, they've invested in? If you have a hard time being happy for others, it is time to check yourself. Where is that coming from? You need healing because hurt people hurt people. Where do you need to heal in order to be happy for everybody else around you without it threatening the fact that you can also have great things and be great and accomplish great things? Winners choose standards over feelings. Whether I feel it or not, I'm going to show up and this is the way I behave, this is the way I think, because that's who I am. This is the standard I live by. They do what's right even when it's not easy. That's integrity. What's the attitude of a loser? Losers, they're fragile. Losers are fragile people. One setback is like an emotional spiraling. There is really a true dopamine hit you experience when you share a sad story with somebody and they're feeling for, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And they're empathizing with you. You get a little hit of dopamine. That little hit can become an addiction. So losers want other people to feel sorry for them. They want to show up and be able to share the crazy thing that happened today. How are you doing? Fine. But I ran out of gas the other day and had to do this. And it's like, there's always something. And it's like, oh my gosh, that must have been, it's like losers have an attitude of entitlement. They feel like just because they showed up, they should be rewarded. They believe they deserve success. Losers are stuck in comparison. They are driven by comparison actually drives their behavior, their attitude. Instead of being inspired, if they're willing to admit it, losers are very jealous people and they talk shit about others. If you're around people and they just are like judging or like bringing up, oh, I just noticed that. I just noticed that about them or this thing. It's like that is the sneaky, deceitful way of comparing and kind of talking shit. You're like, basically that's drama. And by the way, We are in a culture where we're seeing that everywhere. Like, watch any reality TV show. I had to tell my team, a lot of them, not everybody, they'll watch the Mormon Housewife show, and I'll watch it too. Just and it takes me forever to get through a season because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the drama. And I want to tell them, like, first off, this is not real. Reality TV is set up, it's staged, it's orchestrated. This is not real life. And if it were real life, they would never get away with building lasting credibility, relationships, or anything. We see the highlight reel and we see people like getting these opportunities. Oh, she was in Broadway and she got this opportunity, that. Those moments of stardom cannot and will not last, typically for most of them, forever. There it Things like that cannot often stand the test of time. It's not substance, it's superficial. Don't get allured by those little things. That's like chasing being famous. Really hurt people want those little moments of feeling famous because it does something. And I've been there. I've been there where I'll tell you, like, I was on stage, I was doing a keynote. After the talk was done, I kind of eventually made my way to my hotel room, and I just all of a sudden felt this complete, like, emptiness, almost depression. And I'm like, well, what now? If your value is based on that moment where you got to shine, or that moment of performance, and then afterward, who you feel this sense of emptiness, you're chasing the wrong things. Losers have to let go of comparing or obsessing about perceived optics. Perceived optics means you care a lot about what other people think about you, the way you look. If you're overly judgmental, even about what you post on social media, because you're like ruminating over who's going to see it, what are they going to say about me behind my back? Let it go. Because not only are you judgmental and looking externally for your worth, you're comparing, you're judging others constantly, because deep down you're judging yourself in a harsh way, not in an effective way. Losers think about, and that's the other issue, they think about themselves all the time. They're so self-focused. What about me? What's in it for me? How will this affect me, my clients, my life? It's not bad to have those reflections, but losers are stuck on themselves without also thinking about, how will this affect my family, my kids, my community, my neighbors, my team? Losers are emotionally led in their decision-making process. It's 100% based on emotion. Feelings dictate their actions. And it's because they lack contentment. Probably because they're comparing too much. If you're around somebody who are like, shoot, what are they going to tell me today? What negative thing are they going to share with me? And being a great leader, you want to like empathize and show, but sometimes I want to, and we do this with our family, right? We don't let them off the hook. If the family member says, oh, this happened, I tend to be like, well, what have you learned about this? What could you have done different? I put them on the spot and make them look to themselves. Because here's the thing, you can't control everything. Many, many things you cannot control, but you are 100% in control of yourself, the way you react. You have so much control over the responsibility you can take for your own life. And things for your life will radically shift the minute you decide to take 100% ownership and responsibility for your life, and not put it out and expect it from anybody else. The contrast here in attitude, winners believe, I'll find a way. There's always a way. I'll find it. We'll find it together. We'll win together. There's always a way to build this up to be winners. Whereas losers believe this isn't fair. This isn't fair. What you're going through, what I'm going through, what we're going through. Are you seeing this show up as leaders, as owners in this industry? How are you seeing this show up? And what can you do to shift people from a losing mindset to a winning mindset, from loser behaviors to behaviors that winners display? The truth that most people don't want to hear is winning requires putting in the reps. You just got to put in the reps, put in the reps, and not for 6 months. It might be more than 6 years. I have friends in the industry who are now like blowing up, getting the biggest opportunities of their entire careers, and they're in over 10, 15 years in this industry. Winning requires overcoming this sense of boredom. Fall in love with the simple, mundane things that you do over and over again. They can delay gratification. And that's really what discipline is, you guys. Discipline is giving up the good. It's giving up the good. It's actually giving up the better for the best. Losing happens by default. You're going to be losing in life when you allow yourself to drift, when you allow yourself to stir up or participate in drama, when you allow yourself to be distracted by all the things you see on media, social media, TikTok, YouTube. And if you're unwilling to stay disciplined, that lack of discipline is going to have a long-term effect. You don't become a winner on game day, okay? You do not become a winner on game day. You reveal on game day what you put the reps in for, what you practiced. Preparation meets the opportunity. So here's what you ask yourself. What would a winner do today? What does it look like to be a winner? And what would a winner do today? And is there any area that I am displaying losing behavior, mindset, or attitude? Don't deceive yourself. Be honest. It's okay. And by the way, if you're around others who are actually like, holy crap, I see this. I want to be better. I want to be different. Give them grace, you guys. It's really, really easy to judge. It's not easy to give grace. We need to give that to one another for those who are willing to step up and have that shift of perspective and are like, I want to do what winners do. I want to think the way winners think. That's cool as leaders when you see that and then they're willing to go get after it. Now, I see this as little and as young as like, I've been my son's, one of his basketball, either head coach or assistant coach since kindergarten. And he's in 3rd grade now. So every year I'm around all these little boys and just seeing, and by the way, I am kind of the hard ass on them. I'm not a coddler like that. Like, I love you and I'll be there for you and I have your back. Like, I'm a ride or die mom and I got those boys' back too. But I also don't let them off the hook. I don't want them to be victims. I want them to be victorious. And I see those who are, when I give the hard lessons, when I have expectations of them, when I say, go spit out your gum when you play with me, you don't chew gum during the game. You're not Michael Jordan. What is going on here? Not everybody's like that. That's a whole thing. Drives me crazy. But the ones who listen and say, okay, nod their head, they're like, I'm going to listen, I'm going to do, I'm going to trust, I'm going to follow the process. Those are the winning teams. Those are the boys that I see like from the beginning of season to the end of season have the massive shift. And you got to celebrate that. So when people make this change and you see that shift in them from victim, it's never my fault, woe is me, to all of a sudden, like, I'm focused on my own growth. I want to support my team around me. I'm in this. I'm committed. I'm disciplined. I'm putting in the reps. We got to celebrate that. Because myself included, each one of us can fall into the trap of being a loser. You got to be really, really on guard. Who you hang out with, what you're looking at, what you're absorbing, what you're believing. If you want to be a winner, hang out with winners. So what's one behavior you can tighten up today? How can you commit to an elevated level of standards or recommit to your standards? Winning isn't reserved for the talented. It's not about talent. It's earned through discipline. The best salons don't win by accident, they win by design. Your systems, your standards, your consistency, friends, that's what separates you. I hope that you appreciate today's conversation. If you do and you love this platform, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening so that more people like you will discover Beyond the Technique, where we are here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome week. Have an awesome day. And stay strong.
Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.